Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever the time is when you are watching this movie. In the last video, I talked to you about spoken English and that how learning how to speak in English is similar to learning how to drive a car. And I concluded with saying that if you already have a lot of knowledge and if you are taught about driving a car, then when you actually try to drive the car, it will become more difficult for you to drive because of all that knowledge that you have in your mind. In the same way, before you learn a new language, if you study about it and if you're taught about it and you have all that knowledge about the language, then when you try to speak, that knowledge doesn't be a help for you. In fact, it's something that will be an obstacle and will slow you down. Now, how to learn? When I started teaching spoken English, that's many years ago, I also followed that old method where I taught grammar rules and this is how a sentence is made, and for months together my students, they wrote notes, but finally one lady said, हम बात क्यों नहीं कर पाते हैं English में? I knew there was something wrong with the method and the way that I was teaching, and I started thinking about some new way. My job is to make the other person speak in English, not just to teach that person that this is how English is spoken. I remembered, like, for some years ago, before that, I was in Hyderabad. In Hyderabad, people spoke Telugu. So I wanted to learn Telugu. So I asked in Telugu, what's your name? Or tumhara naam kya hai? How do you say it in Telugu? And my friends there, they taught me Ni Peru Enti, 3 words, or a group of 3 words. So I repeated it many times, Ni Peru Enti, Ni Peru Enti, and I knew the meaning of Ni Peru Enti. And then I said, my name is Glenn Paul, if I want to say to somebody. Then very simple, Na Peru Glenn Paul. So I learned 2 groups of words of Telugu, Ni Peru Enti and Na Peru Glenn Paul. And when I used to meet Telugu people, I just, to break the ice, I used to say, hello, Ni Peru Enti, Na Peru Glenn Paul. And oh, this guy Telugu, and then they go, I don't know anything more. So then I learned another line. I asked them, I said, I want to say that I don't know Telugu. So then they taught me another group of words which says, Naku Telugu Radu. So I learned it up, Naku Telugu Radu. So now I know 3 groups of words, Ni Peru Enti, Na Peru Glenn Paul, and Naku Telugu Radu. But then slowly I picked up a few more groups of words, and I said, well, I don't need to say that I don't know Telugu, because I know some Telugu. So wo kaise bolenge? So then they taught me, Naku Kunchum Kunchum Telugu Vastundi. I learned that line by repeating it many times, Naku Kunchum Kunchum Telugu Vastundi. I found that in a month or 2 I could communicate, and I started speaking a new language which I had never heard in my life before. And I thought that why shouldn't I apply that same method for teaching spoken English? Why do we go and start teaching lists of vocabulary and translations and books and rules and all complicated grammar rules? It just stops a person from learning. So I tried that method and it worked. And from where came this new system or a new method which I call the 7 rules of learning spoken English, in which the rule number 1 is that you should not learn vocabulary or grammar. You should just learn groups of words of a new language by listening and repeating them, and you will start speaking in English. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'm Glenn from Glenn Paul's Spoken English Club here at Jabalpur, and we're doing very well, and members, I don't call them students actually, the members who join my club, people who have never spoken in their lives before, start speaking, and in days as they continue speaking in the club, English improves, and it's a very easy and fast way for learning English. Thank you very much. Glenn from Glenn Paul Spoken English Club. I'll talk to you again in another video. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.